Well, I'm back. Honestly, it's like I never left. For over a year. Ah, whatever. There's no time like the present. So, Sizzle Season 2024. It's here, and it's pretty good. At this point, the seasonal model is pretty well understood, and I found this season to have good offerings all around. Let's try not to let thoughts of the overall season model, and this potentially being the last update, distract us from what is being brought to the table here. Starting with the weapons, we have four new weapons. The Decapitator is a Splatana that trades its vertical slash for a huge horizontal one, and a far bigger dash. It's decidedly different take on the Splatanas, which admittedly were pretty similar. You can change the angle of the final slash, doing flick moves that are potentially really impressive. The problem is that you need to actually hit someone with the slash itself. You can't go through someone with the charge. Actually, kind of the entire weapon is a bit awkward. I found it really difficult to get the charge out, often just standing in place when I meant to move forward. Not to mention, it feels even slower than the Splatana Stamper, though I'm not exactly sure if it is. But, in exchange, this thing feels super rewarding. It splats quickly and cleanly if you can find yourself in situations. It also paints surprisingly well, which, combined with its also surprisingly long range, makes the Decapitator a multifaceted weapon that excels in both the very close range and from decently far. Overall, I think it's pretty strong, if a bit slow. Honestly, it's just a lot of fun to slash open squids in one clean shot. The Mint Decapitator has a suction bomb and big bubbler. Have a bomb is always nice and, frankly, kind of justifies this kit itself. A slower medium range weapon benefits greatly from this, and a bomb can always be used aggressively, even if not as well as a splat bomb or burst bomb or fizzy bomb. But still, it's a bomb. It works well. The bubbler functions in a similar way. It is defensive, yes, but you can place it in a forward position to really plant yourself somewhere. Being able to one-shot anyone who enters makes this a pretty viable tactic. The entire kit seems like a really good balance of offensive and defensive capabilities. You can either go in deep with a decent bomb and a backup shield, or play it safe with your range. The kit works well for a weapon that itself can play both slow and fast, long range or extremely short range, so I think this kit is overall going to be quite strong. The Charcoal Decapitator is a more overall defensive and technical kit. It has less flexibility, but it makes up for that with an inkjet, which is quite strong. The inkjet just sort of works for itself. If you can hide your jump point and stay at an appropriate range, you're gonna do pretty well. It turns this weapon occasionally quite aggressive, but it's held back by the splash wall. The splash wall is good. Being able to use your range and even charge in safety is cohesive design. It's just less freeing than the suction bomb. It pushes you to a more proactive play, and that it isn't exactly my thing. I do think it's a strong match, the entire kit is. Overall, I just enjoy the Mint Decapitator a bit more, because it has a bomb. I can easily see myself using both kits. That's, not a guarantee, so I think that should be something worth noting. The Decapitator seems like a very fun weapon to play around with, and I'm very interested in seeing what people can really pull from it. The Wellstring V is a very unique weapon. It's a stringer with 5 reticles that quickly come together, then spread apart again. It pushes for more area denial and chip damage, and wants you to play with others and cause chaos from the backline. But there is a one-shot, which can be surprisingly strong, but very hard and awkward to actually do. I honestly found it easiest when I was weirdly close to my enemy, though that just might be my aim. It requires a weird need to pace and predict your one-shots, since the amount of time you have to land it is actually very small. It's very quick to come together and then start moving out. It has good range, chip, area denial, and a one-shot, but it's held back by the strangeness of the weapon. If mastered, I could see this being extremely fun, strong, and just plain interesting. It has a lot of potential. And I could say all those same things about the Tri-Stringer. Yeah, I have a feeling that the Wellstring will end up in a similar place as the Tri-Stringer. Lots of potential wasted through a high skill floor, weak kits, and just a design overshadowed by chargers, splatlings, and especially the Explosher. But honestly, I dig it. It's weird and awkward and probably not that great, but it's fun and unique, which shouldn't be discounted. The vanilla Wellstring V has an auto bomb. This is great. The auto bomb is a cheap, expendable bomb that does a lot of area denial and works amazingly with what the Wellstring wants to do. Sure, the more traditional bombs would be more meta, but I don't think there is a sub that synergizes better. And the special is... Oh, okay. Yeah, the Ultra Stamp does not work well with a slow, awkward backline weapon. Like, you can charge in, becoming a more aggressive weapon, but the stamp just isn't strong enough to justify forcing yourself into the front lines. This isn't an invincible Kraken, it's an easily killable hammer. Though, the hammer throw can be useful, but really, there are a number of specials that would be far better. Extremely depressing kit, which falls apart from an anti-synergistic special. Though, I would say that the Autobomb is strong enough to justify using the vanilla kit on its own. In contrast, the custom Wellstring has better synergy, but many would probably consider it still weak. The point sensor works, but it being a utility sub will turn many people off. I, personally, really like the point sensor. It makes aiming easier, alerts me to the location of enemies, and also alerts your allies. Like, these things aren't useless, at least outside of the realm of high-level competitive play, which is admittedly where a lot of people get their ideas of what is and isn't meta. But being able to lob shots onto marked opponents is a valid use case and shouldn't be ignored just because it's not a bomb. Then, the special is Wavebreaker, which is just kind of weak at this point. It does do area denial and chip damage, which is what the Wellstring wants, but it just isn't consistent enough. Without a lethal sub and an already inconsistent main, this just isn't what the Wellstring really wants. It's not a bad idea, it's just a bit weak. The custom kit overall lacks damage that doesn't come from the main weapon, which makes this a particularly difficult weapon to wield. I probably enjoy this, but at higher levels I foresee the weaknesses of the kit, and probably the Wellstring in general, to keep this thing from going anywhere. Luckily, this means that both kits have a purpose, because they are both so mid. But like, it's still fun. Even if the kits aren't great, it's still really rewarding to hit your one-shots and do all this area denial stuff. If you aren't so interested in specifically following the meta, then there's still a lot of fun to be had with this weapon. There's still a lot of reasons to like this weapon, even if it is ultimately not meta. I found both weapons to be really enjoyable. They are difficult and a bit weird, but ultimately very rewarding if you can master them, which, of course, I haven't done yet, but still, is more interesting than getting a new shooter, for example. It does kind of suck that we had to wait like almost 2 years to get a new Stringer and Splatana. But, hey, what we got is pretty good. Let's quickly go over the new kits. The heavy edit is strong, but uninteresting, cause, you know, the Splat Bomb is always gonna be good, and the Crab is quite consistently good. So, you know. I'll probably play this if I ever want to play Splatling, since it's probably the best one we have. The Dowser Doolies is nice because it has a Burst Bomb, and honestly, there aren't a lot of weapons that have Burst Bomb, and a lot of them are not more typical shooters. It's like the Splash, and I think one of the L3 or H3 has it. You know, it's just nice to have a more typical weapon have a Burst Bomb, since I think that's a playstyle that works out well, even if the Dowser Doolies are kind of weird. Bamboo is good for people who like Bamboo. I am not super particularly good at Bamboo, so I probably won't play it, but hey, Fizzy Bomb is nice. The Hydra will be hated because it has a screen, but it's actually probably a decent weapon. Mine's good with it. Screen is also probably good with it synergistically, but I think the vanilla kit will just be better because Auto Bomb and Booyah Bomb are both really strong with the Hydra Splatling. Recycled Regula got the Toxic Mist, which kind of makes it unviable. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I don't know much about the Recycled Brella since I haven't used it much. Custom Range Blaster is strong, but a bit uninteresting, probably because of its Splat Bomb. But hey, it's gonna be strong because it has, a Splat Bomb, and it's survivable because of the Kraken. So it's probably gonna be pretty good. Better than the vanilla kit. So overall, the kits were honestly pretty good. I think each of them has some sort of reason, except for maybe the Recycled Brella, and, well, the Wellstring kits also aren't great. But still, that's honestly better than a lot of the other seasons, where perhaps only a handful, like 2 or 3 weapons get really good kits. Here, I think most every weapon got a kit that was either synergistic or just good on its face. Which, hey, I think that is something that should be pointed out as a decidedly good thing. The new map is also pretty good. It has a fun gimmick, like, of course it's a bit annoying to be pushed around, especially considering how weirdly fast the platforms move. Like, they can really, mess you up, but honestly, I kind of like that. It has enough play in the stage to be interesting without being a Wahoo world where it just completely takes over the stage and at times makes it harder to play. What's really fun, each of the different areas feel good to fight in. They're all separated, but they all feel interconnected. It's hard to say for me since I'm not a map design expert, but it really feels like this is a good map. And so, this map is good. It's just a pretty dang good map, I feel like. Maybe it turns out that there are some deep-seated problems with it, but to me it just felt like a straight-up strong map. There are also map changes in the smaller stuff that this season added. None of them, really completely fixed the issues. It's still a Splatoon 3 map, which means it has these wide open spaces and also cramped bottlenecks, and nothing in between, which is kind of sad. It's still an improvement. All of the changes seem to have made them better. I don't think they've made it worse, but, well, this sort of stuff should have happened a year or more ago, and things could have probably been pushed a bit further. It still feels like a map design still feels a bit held back by ideas that have been proven to be not very good. We really need more flank routes, man. Also, Big Run, or Big Run, sounds pretty cool. We'll see how that works, but, Salmon Run Contact is always pretty fun. So overall, with some interesting new weapons, some very good kits, and a strong new map, Sizzle Season 2024 is a really good Splatoon 3 update, and not much more. Which is sad, because this could very well be the final major content update, and this fact hangs over the entire game at this point. It's hard not to divorce what we have gotten from what we could have gotten. These new kits are for some weapons that have been in the game for almost 2 years now. They haven't gotten anything before. That's disappointing, especially since there's no real reason we shouldn't have gotten third kits by now. But if we take what we were given, it's good. It's good. It's interesting. It's fun. It is probably one of the better seasons we've gotten. But is that enough? I think it is, but it's very tentative. And, well, I'm also holding out hope for third kits in the content expansion. If that doesn't come, then I think this season will probably be seen really poorly, even if through no fault of its own. Which, kind of sucks. But time will tell. But at the moment, I think I'll just be satisfied playing around with some new toys. Thanks for watching. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that would really help my channel. I've been Dr. Fish, and I finally have my master's degree. Wait, this is a bachelor's. Ah, what's the difference?